Good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us at our first ever Everyone Orchestra virtual session here tonight. We have an amazing set of music that I've been creating with my musical friends all week, and I'm very excited to share it with you. Before we get into the music, I just want to say a couple thank yous right off the bat. I want to say thanks to the musicians for their willingness to be vulnerable and to jump into the creative fray with me once again in this whole new way. And I hope you all really enjoy what we created. And I want to say thanks to TODD KUSHNIR, my production partner in making this happen. It wouldn't happen without Todd. He and I have been glued to our Zoom and our mixing and video editing consoles for weeks. And really this came about from a dialogue that he and I have had ever since the pandemic hit, and we were trying to figure out how Everyone Orchestra can exist in this new reality. And we are learning and growing, and this is our first attempt at creating a whole show and bringing community together around EO, and it's been an incredible journey, so thank you, Todd. And I want to say thanks to my team, my management team at the Ardmore in Ardmore, Pennsylvania. You guys are awesome, and like us musicians, the small venue owners are in the same place in this strange world where we're all kind of struggling to get by. We're struggling to see how we fit into the future, and everybody's spirit and their innovative wisdom is being tapped, and it's awesome to be working with you all. So this is our creation, folks, and I hope you really enjoy it. I also want to, as many of you know, today is Juneteenth, and it's a really important day in history to celebrate, and I'm first to admit I didn't know what Juneteenth was until a few weeks ago, and it's just part of the learning process that me and my family and my community is in right now, and it's a really important historic time to support Black Lives Matter, and tonight is dedicated to Juneteenth, to Black Lives Matter, and to the better world that music will play in creating that for everybody. So this first tune that we're going to play for you, it's called It's Time, and this is actually, I've written It's Time a number of times on a dry erase board in live performance, and it's become a chorus in a number of different jams. And to create this one, I laid down a fresh drum track. Yes, I am conducting myself, which is another weird part of this process that can happen. And then Kai Eckhardt laid his bass line track, and then we shared the basic tracks with just a scratch vocal of me singing, and then we went from there. So hope you enjoy it. I'll see you on the other side. Thanks again.
It's time. 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 It's time.
Hey Taz, you've done little snippets of EO. I don't think you've actually done a whole show yet. How was this experience of just, of playing to a bass and drums and a conducting video for you?
Yeah. In a good way, it was super weird because, first of all, I've never gotten, I always, people send me stuff all the time, but I never get, a 12-minute song to play to that's all jam, which was kind of fun. But also, there was no fans to, feed off of. So it's I had to produce all this energy by myself, not depending on the crowd to, give me energy, which was kind of weird. But then also seeing you on my on my screen going crazy, trying to pay attention, and, it was really fun, to be honest. It took me about 4 hours to do all of it.
Oh my God.
It was I kept messing up because I kept not looking and missing a hit or all that stuff. So, and it was a really cool experience.
I'm definitely
trying to do it. I wanted to get it right, and I wanted to do the best I could.
Yeah.
So it was a fun 4 hours, definitely.
Nice. What about you, Al?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How was it?
Well, so this is sort of my second foray into doing this with you.
Yeah.
And so I sort of knew what to expect this time. But it's, like Taz said, it's still a little bit weird playing to, what you can sort of just imagine being there. And last time that ended up working out great. I think we had 12 musicians on the track or something, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of amazing how much space everybody left for each other, sort of in anticipation of everything that was happening. And again, I think your energy was the only thing to go on, because a lot of it is, you know what? And then there was also Kai's energy too, which was great. The bass track was really gave a lot to sort of move with as well. But it's weird being by yourself in a room and having to sort of manufacture inspirato, as they say, and just and make it all happen, but leave room for the ensemble. Yeah, I would think for you it's got to be almost more difficult to conduct to thin air. And it's all in your head too, and you're just like, okay, here you go, do this thing, and now and you're just sort of imagining in your head like what Taz would be doing right here, and because you've worked with Taz enough to know what's happening, and so it's like, all right, Taz doing his thing, and stop or whatever, and you can, it's all here, you're just.
And I have to map it out, which is not what I do.
The fact how open your drums were and how open the bass lines were, but also your conducting and all your movements. I think it was genius how you left it all open so that there was no limit to the amount of imagination that we as instrumentalists could use to put our little spice on the track. But at the same time, it was a little daunting because it was oh my God, what am I supposed to do? There's so many ways I can go about doing this. And then it was I had to be super melodic with my chords and try to, make it progress. And it's a little hard when you can't physically connect with the musicians on the screen. But
really, I hope that we were I have no idea what you were playing, and
yeah,
I'm going to listen to of course you listen to the whole band, but I want to hear the other guitar player. I want to know what you're doing, so I'm playing something complementary to what you're playing, and
yeah, so much about playing with another guitar player. Sorry, so much about playing with another guitar player is being able to connect. Usually, when I play with a great guitar player like Al, I can just telepathically communicate through my fingers, and if he's playing something low, I'll play something high, or if we want to play the same thing, and it's there's so many ways to go about it. But when I don't even know what he's gonna play, I'm just it was kind of weird, but I can't wait to see how it turned out.
Yeah. Just the last thing. Our events on Juneteenth. I'm just trying to kind of keep the conversation going and recognize the importance of it. Do you guys have anything you want to add on that?
I'd say if you can go out and protest peacefully and figure out a way to do it in the most safe manner, I'd say to go do it. And also think about for anybody who's watching this, I'd say think about all the artists that you listen to and who their influences were, because chances are there's some black history to be said in that, and also not even black, but there's some minorities who made the music that the people who you listen to might have taken inspiration from, or just try to spend a day or spend an hour looking through who inspires you and what they went through to get there.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. So much of American pop music is born on the shoulders of some other music, and it comes from so many other traditions. But that's America, right? That's everything that we do here, and there's definitely something to be said for that. And I think. Yeah. This day in particular gives us all an opportunity to reflect on that, and also look inward a little bit too, and just do a little self-check and see, maybe kind of what we each need to work on, and that's the thing that I've been thinking about, sort of leading up to this, is how I fit into this whole thing. Where do I fit in as a musician? Where do I fit in as a member of my family, a member of my community, etc. And so,
yep.
I also feel music, especially not only is it the universal language, but it doesn't discriminate against anyone, and I think there's a lot of beauty in that. And that music is I feel it's the purest form of something that connects us all, and I think it's a lot to be said that somebody like me, who would not probably be able to play with somebody like you guys 200 years ago, but now I can, and we're gonna try to keep furthering the agenda that all people are created equal, and I think music is a really good thing to empower all people.
That's awesome.
Well
And I
said.
think that's a great place to kind of wrap this up. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Al. That's
Thank you, Matt.
fucking totally rad. Appreciate you guys so much, and I hope.
One of the biggest blessings of doing Everyone Orchestra is the friendships with the musicians, and to see friendships getting built on our stage. My friendships with them, it's really the wealth that I feel in doing what I do. So it's so great to have these conversations and make new friends and continue. And this virtual process, one of my intents really was to try to keep the community connected. So the musicians are talking, fans are talking, we're engaged. And even though it's not as good as being in person, it's something. And I think it's really important to stay connected and to keep on trying new things so we can move forward and be ready to rage the world when we can get back into it all together once again. And this next piece is, I think about the chaotic element of improv conducting. I learned a lot from Colonel Bruce Hampton, who jokingly, we had some crazy, weird Everyone Orchestra experiences with him. One of them actually ended in complete disaster, but what Colonel said to me, something like, it was true improvisation. But he always said 13% chaos is the right balance, right? In a performance, in a song, that sort of thing. So this next tune it's a little more ethereal, and it was a really interesting project to get the audio to line up with the music, because it wasn't rhythmic to start or end, so it was just kind of moving around, and I was asking people to play this kind of fluid thing, and realized in our process, oh yeah, we need to think about that next time when we do something that has very little rhythm at the beginning and ending to lock everybody in. So once again, Todd, thanks for lining everybody up, and here it comes. It's called Fly. And I guess imagine on the choruses, if we were in person, you all would be singing with us when I go fly.
James and Jen. Awesome to see you guys.
What's
Hello.
up? What's up?
So much for fearlessly joining me on this, once again, another kind of total experiment musical adventure. I'm just kind of curious, what your experience is on this, maybe in creating lyrics or whatever, but just on the whole virtual EO. What's your response, your take, or what do you think, James?
Well, I did mine pretty late at night.
Probably good.
Late at night for us. So over here, I did it around, started at around midnight because that's how I always do things. And it was obviously different than a normal EO show because, the circumstances or whatever. But coming up with lyrics very quickly is always a bit of a nerve-wracking thing. So hopefully what we ended up coming up with was good enough.
It's beautiful. It's crazy beautiful. Really, it really is.
I just can't wait to hear what James came up with lyrically, because we have verses to the same song without hearing each other's verses or choruses or whatever.
That's so cool.
I'm really curious. We talked about, me sending you stuff and you writing to that, and that only happened on 1 out of the 4.
Yeah. It was late.
I really want to know what you wrote about. I can't wait to hear it.
Jen, what about you?
It was great.
Thank God.
But I had like the craziest. I had a hard time for a minute because the audio was in a different key at a different speed than the video. And I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. I don't know if you know this about me. I don't like to ask for help.
Oh my God!
Even
Don't
I have
always
no business.
ask.
I don't.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I mean, there's definitely some chaos in the music that everyone created, but there's it's amazing how there's some sort of cohesivity of people performing to my crazy dancing. So
cool. You had some extra awesome faces on the tune that Kai started.
I was like James. That was a late night. I mean, I was bouncing on my yoga ball. I wasn't wearing my outfit. I just was like,
yeah.
Okay, we gotta bang this one out.
So you can make like a flip book of all the images. I would like that.
Okay, I'll do that. That's my merch idea for this big event.
Yeah.
When I booked this gig, I didn't know what Juneteenth was, and deeply in this process of learning about my white privilege and how much I didn't know, and kind of just trying to be conscious, be aware, and I wanted to bring respect to it and ask if you guys have anything else you want to add to that, since we're, it's Juneteenth now.
I would say, unfortunately, we as Americans haven't really learned our history. A lot of it's just kind of been glossed over because of, the powers that be or whatever. They want to make sure that things are uniform in a way that it might not actually be true, but it makes everyone feel good. Our history is not that at all. So fortunately, Google is great for everybody. So just do a little bit of research and seeing how things are actually and why they are the way they are. And it'll help you get a clearer understanding of anyone else's plight. That's all I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm glad this fell on this day, just to bring a little awareness of it, because recently I saw a couple folks, out of respect for the fact that it was that day, not do their shows, and it's a choice, but I think it's nice to do it, bring attention to it, give everybody a chance to go read a book that wasn't prescribed to you by our government,
right?
And do some reading.
Yeah, it's the Great Awakening, the learning.
Yeah,
let's make it happen. Awesome. Yeah. Well, love you guys.
It's time.
It's time. All right, here we go. Check it out.
All right. Hope it doesn't suck. Bye.
Hey, Weedie, how's it going?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. You know, how was the experience recording these tunes for you?
I did not see. You know what's funny? What you did virtually is what you do live. You were able to bring that same energy from a virtual world, a virtual concert, to the same thing you do on a show. If you've ever seen, everyone orchestra shows live, you will actually get that, and probably in a deeper concept, because now he has to really show the connection he has with the music and musicians virtually.
Yeah.
Which is unique, which is very unique. This is very unique. And so for me, it's like, wow. I've done a bunch of these virtual concerts now since COVID, and I was like, okay, well, this is easy. I can set my camera up and have my ears on. No. I'm actually watching you conduct in real time. Now, this is something unique, even for science to be able to do this during this time, to have real time,
right?
And to conduct in real time with music and not to be off. And you were on the money, and I was like, wow. I know he ain't gonna catch this 4-bar phrase. I just know he's not. God damn. Right. No, man. I mean, it's really cool. It's really genius how you did it, man. So I hope the people really check this out. It's really cool.
When we first put this together, in all honesty, I didn't know it was Juneteenth. I wasn't aware of what Juneteenth meant, the importance of it, and I'm just trying to continue to recognize it and bring importance and celebrate it, in as much as we can in this thing. And I'm curious if you have any thoughts or anything you want to add to that.
Well, for me, the instrument I play and the music that I play and the culture I come from, both in the West and in the East, dealing with Ghana and dealing with East St. Louis, and being a part of the African system here in America, Juneteenth is this is nothing new to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This was a time of year where I would travel around the world in the States playing different Juneteenth festivals, which is a whole weekend dedicated to that. You know what I'm saying? The true abolishment of slavery, you know what I'm saying? And understanding what that was, you know what I'm saying? And the respect level and the joyification it should be, and how it should be honored in a way. And a lot of people say, well, Juneteenth is just for African. No, Juneteenth is a holiday for all when you really break down for the injustice of a group of people. So I tell people, and I tell a lot of people about, don't look at it just as a music. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely say this in the jam band scene where, a lot of this music is centered around Black music. We don't want to just look at, okay, well, we've seen all these people fight and seeing the people who don't fight to fight and hear the music and love it and say, oh, wow. But it's like my father says, my grandfather used to say, you may love the blues, but do you know our blues? And to respect it and to really embody it and say, these people are fighting a fight that I have to be a part. Fans included, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fans included, and not just the musicians. So, Juneteenth is a very powerful day. And I've always been able to play and to be a voice and a conduit to speak for those ancestors who were a part of that life, who've seen and witnessed and felt that injustice, and to know that in that change and things will hope to have a beautiful future and to rise again,
And now's the time, man. This is it. This is the white privilege that I come from didn't teach me that. And I'm angry, I'm embarrassed. And I refuse to I'm ready to bring it to life in a new way.
Well, you know what? And the greatest thing in life is to say, a wise man told me, if you can understand the mistake and understand the mess up, you can respect his cleanup and appreciate his cleanup. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I respect you saying that. You know what I'm saying? That means a lot because we don't realize it, but it's real in this world. All right, brother. I love you, man.
Love you too.
God bless you, and I'll see you very soon.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Everyone Orchestra songs are started a number of different ways. One way is that I just write funk and A and we go. Another way is I'll have drums start a groove and just ask the bass player, go play something, and it just starts, and that's the jumping off point. Or I'll ask somebody to start a riff, and that'll be the jumping off point for a song. And for this next song, that's how this one was made. So I asked Al Schnier just to give me an A and B section, and actually a B C section, and then I kind of stretched it out on my Logic timeline and created a bed for a tune, and then had Kai lay down some bass tracks, and then sent it back to everybody, and they all created their own pieces on it. Now, I want to point out that lyrically, improvisation, I think that's one of the biggest challenges of improvisation, especially in Everyone Orchestra, because we're trying to write songs. It's not just a jam. My intent is to write a song that you can all sing with us when you go home singing like, who wrote that song? So we wrote that song right now. And so Jen and James killing it on the lyrics thus far, and they continue to kill it on this next song. So I just want to give extra kudos to Jen Hartswick and James Casey for coming up with incredible lyrics on this compositional jam that this ensemble came up with, and we are naming this now after getting familiar with these lyrics. The name of this one is called Family Legacy. Take it away.
so hard, and Dad struggled with matters of the heart. Yeah, he said, young man, you could be whatever you wanna be. Just
You've done many Everyone orchestras before, many.
Many.
And
I subscribe to your philosophy, Matt Butler.
how was it for you? What was your experience? What was good? What was bad? What were your thoughts?
Okay, my first thought, and granted, I've done now enough of these, you know, one person plays and passes a file to the next person, you know, who then, you know, phones it in or whatever the telephone game is called, and then you have square next to square, right? I've done enough of these to have that experience and know how to play not with everybody present musically, how to play with the imagination that somebody is going to be there, you know, not necessarily hearing their line, but hearing their personality in what is going to come on top, you know, and leaving space for that. So I've done enough of those, and this was definitely one of them. But what I hadn't experienced yet was you. What I wasn't ready for was kind of like, you know, it was a pretty thin backing track, you know, like not that many elements, especially the drone one that we did, the first take on the drone one was just you on drums and then me with kind of like and go, not really sure what it's going to be. So the first musical person to say something is always the like, this could be anything. I hope other people like it. I hope I like it. It is going to be what it's eventually going to be. I don't know. You put it out there into the world of the other musicians and their trust, and then it forms into whatever we're about to watch tonight. Tonight?
Yes.
Um,
All right, Bridget, how's it going?
Good, Matt. How are you?
You're making an attempt at being creative and being connected as much as possible, really.
Yeah, super innovative of you, man. Way to like take the bull by the horns of like the new virtual world and try to do something different. It's really cool.
This is all developing. It's been super fun. So how was the process for you?
Like you, adapting and enjoying adapting actually to working from home. And so it was neat to get to bring EO into my home space and kind of just, you know, go there. It was cool. It was different. It felt a lot like a session would feel, but I was being easy on myself and trying to get in kind of the mood of spontaneity and just the mood of what Everyone Orchestra is for me. So yeah, it was kind of like, I would say it was sort of like the coming together of two worlds. It's like the freshness and spontaneity and, you know, improv magic meets kind of like the session world where you realize it's going to be captured forever and you've got headphones on and you got to, you know, so you have to kind of like find this like silver lining between there where you're just surrendering to,
right.
to the music.
So tonight is Juneteenth.
Okay.
And I've been doing my best to like basically give reverence to the date, keep discuss it with people, talk about it a little bit. Is there you have any thoughts on that?
So I watched that documentary 13th. Yeah. That was you know, I spent a few nights putting the baby down watching 13th. And that was riveting for me. Just
right?
Extremely educational and just made me realize that like slavery has just taken on so many different forms that were they really actually emancipated? Like, yes,
right.
it was worth celebrating, but as it turns out, there's, you know, the rich white man still found a way to, you know, F everybody over. So, you know, I think that like when we're celebrating something like the emancipation of slavery, I think it's really important to really get inside the emotion of that, the celebration. What is emancipating, like the slaves? What is liberation? Like, what does it mean to be free? You know, and really like get drunk on that feeling. And maybe there's a part of us and the little bit that we can do inside our sweet little homes with our little families that have not, you know, been destroyed by mass incarceration and, you know, centuries of mistreatment. Like the thing that we can do is maybe start to resonate at a frequency that has some sort of healing. Good.
Well, I love you so much, and I'm so glad we get to play music together, whether it's on the computer or otherwise. I can't wait to be playing with you in person. So thanks so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the music tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate always being invited by you, my friend Matt.
Awesome. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Okay.
All right. Last but not least, we've got a song. It's called Jammer Size. Got it? And the whole idea of this is it's just a super ridiculously fun, it's a recording project of a live performance, which is different than recording a live performance. My whole intent here is to let the musicians just have lots of space, tear it up a little bit to be kind of ridiculous. And it's my hope is that now's the time to stand up in your living room and to dance. And if you're on the Zoom call, like I'm going to be watching for you dancing. So let's dance together, and I'll see you on the other side of this one. I hope you guys are ready to sweat a little bit. Let's jammercise. Well, that's our show for tonight, friends. Thanks so much for coming. Lufa and I and my whole family appreciate it. I hope you guys had a great time. I want to say special thanks to Jen, James, Kai, Al, Bridget, Weedie, Aron, and Taz, and Todd. Thank you guys, all of you, for going on this musical adventure with me. And I hope you all have a great night. Stay healthy. I will see you on the dance floor soon. And if all goes well, we'll be doing more of these in the future. So thanks a lot, guys. We love you. Have a great night.